My name is Michael White. I am the President and CEO of IBK Capital Corp. IBK Capital for the last 35 years has been focused on the funding and advising of exploration, development, and production of minerals globally, metals. Today I'll be your chair for the next hour and a half, and I would just like to thank Joanne Jobin and her entire team for putting on such a spectacular event, as always, and we look forward to many years to come. So, up next we have Kenorland Minerals. I'd like to say, have everyone give a very warm welcome to Zach Flood. He's the President, CEO, and Director of Kenorland Minerals. Kenorland is a leading North American project generator focused on early-stage exploration with strategic partnerships across high-potential mineral belts. Please give a warm welcome to Zach Flood.
Thank you. All right, we're going to switch gears here and talk about grassroots gold exploration in North America. So this company I'm presenting is Kenorland Minerals. I'm the President and CEO. I co-founded the company in 2016. We focused on project generation across North America. Our primary target commodity is gold, although we do have exposure to copper, nickel, and some other critical metals. When we started the company, we wanted to be focused on finding new mineral deposits. So that requires you to go out in areas that haven't been heavily explored, come up with new concepts, new ideas. It takes a really creative team and unique individuals and culture to do that and be successful at it. Early on, we partnered with a Japanese mining company, Sumitomo Metal Mining, here in Quebec, and made a high-grade gold discovery in the Frotet-Evans Greenstone Belt north of the Abitibi. So I'll talk about how we made that discovery. That resulted in us in a joint venture with them. At some point last year, we converted our interest in the joint venture to a large 4% net smelter return royalty on this deposit. And I think since then the market's taken a lot of notice to what royalties can be worth. We saw recent transactions like Origin Royalties get bought out by Triple Flag there for over $400 million. Franco just bought a royalty on Côté for $1 billion, and Great Bear Royalties was another recent success in the space. This map just shows kind of where our projects are located and the amount of ground we're covering. We have over 2 million hectares of exposure in North America. So, to be successful again at exploration, I think you need to be covering a lot of ground, testing targets continuously, killing targets continuously as well. Unfortunately, this business is extremely high risk, and the failure rate is extraordinarily high as well. This year, we are a project generator, so we come up with these projects. We bring in third parties to fund the exploration. Typically, these are bigger mining companies. Sometimes we partner with juniors as well. In 2025, we're operating over $40 million of exploration across a portfolio. Around 31 million of that has come from third parties through these farm-out agreements. And again, all mostly focused on early-stage exploration. There's up to 6 drill programs testing new targets on, these are maiden drill programs or early-stage follow-up programs. All of this exploration is focused on targets that we generated through large-scale systematic exploration. So I'm just going to focus on the discovery we made in the Frotet-Evans Greenstone Belt. This project came about in 2017, and over a number of years we developed a grassroots target that we then drilled, confirmed a discovery, and then have since then been advancing. And I'll walk you through how we did that. So this is kind of interesting. So we noticed that there was a large swath of belt up in northern Quebec that was open for staking. We're always looking for areas of low exploration maturity, so that brought us up here. Also, you want to be in areas that have high geologic prospectivity. So Troilus is a big gold deposit in the belt. That kind of proved to us that there was the potential for large endowment. And we thought maybe there was at least one other gold system in the belt. So we staked the ground in 2017. We were a small private company at the time. had a few $100,000 in the bank account. So we immediately turned around and tried pitching this and bringing in a partner to fund the exploration, which that partner was Sumitomo Metal Mining. They began funding the exploration in 2018. We began with a regional till geochemical sampling program. These lines here you see are about 1 kilometer spaced apart, covering 56,000 hectares of belt. There was a target that appeared in the southern portion of the project there. You see the Renault target on the map. Over the next year and a half, we acquired some more ground. We dropped some ground that we sterilized, and we completed a large amount of infill till sampling. And it became very apparent that there was a big dispersion plume coming from an area that had no previous drilling or mineral occurrences. So we followed up looking for evidence of gold in bedrock or boulders. In this area, there's no bedrock exposure. It's all covered with glacial till and a shallow lake in the area too. But what we did find were a number of high-grade boulders running up to 400 grams per ton. We identified quartz veins and diorite, so we saw what the style of mineralization was, and 400 grams per ton is a pretty rare number to receive from the lab, so we knew we were onto a very high-grade gold system. The first drill program in 2020, 8 of the 15 drill holes intersected high-grade gold mineralization, including 11 meters at 18 grams on hole 7. We didn't know at this time which way the orientation of the veins were going and what we were really onto, but over the next few years, we continued to drill this off, and today there's around 130,000 meters of drilling into it, over 220 drill holes. We've identified multiple parallel shear veins hosting high-grade gold, over 2 kilometers in strike length down to over 1,000 meters vertical depth, and the system's still open, it's still growing. At this stage now, Sumitomo owns 100% of this project, and again, Kenorland holds a 4% NSR. There's a 0.75 buy down for $13 million, leaving us with a 3.25% uncapped royalty. This is a cross-section through Renault. So the discovery began with the R1 veins up in the shallow parts of the system, and over the years, as we pushed the drilling deeper, we kept discovering additional parallel shear veins. And over the last couple of years, we put some really deep holes, over 1,500 meter deep holes down there, over 1,000 meters vertical depth, and continued to make new discoveries. So there's only a few holes in the lower parts of the system, but even those have hit grades like, or intercepts of 4.5 meters up to 12 grams. So there's a good indication that the system will continue to grow. Here's another view. This is a long section. Again, just highlighting those deep holes down there, all intersecting high-grade gold mineralization, wide open for expansion. I think what we see here is clear potential to a multi-million ounce resource of high-grade gold. By the way, this project is located about an hour drive north of Chibougamau, right off the Route du Nord. You can drive a two-wheel drive, Honda Civic into the camp. So it's got great infrastructure, and we work closely with the Mistissini First Nations, which is a very organized pro-development First Nations up in the James Bay region. So what are the milestones ahead of us? We have a number of them. There'll be a maiden resource estimate at some point in the next year, followed by a preliminary economic study. All of this is leading towards a decision that Sumitomo may make to develop a decline down to about 300 meters for a bulk sample. So as these milestones are hit, I think additional value will be unlocked in terms of the royalty, and as the market and other players gain confidence that Sumitomo is serious about developing this, that royalty becomes a very rare and quality asset. And this just is a map of where the royalty coverage is. It's over 36,000 hectares of ground. There's a 1 kilometer AOI. So what's next outside of that royalty? I mean, we're continuing to deploy the same exact strategy all over Eastern Canada, looking for other gold systems. We have 500,000 hectares of ground in Ontario at various stages within the pipeline. South Uchi is a project that we have optioned to a private company, completed a maiden drill program on another grassroots target early this year. Waiting on assays for that, and then the projects elsewhere are either at the regional stage where we've identified large-scale gold targets for follow-up exploration, and the Cow-Cache project over by the Beardmore-Geraldton Belt is newly staked, and we'll be completing a regional first-pass till sampling program there this summer. So just to look at another example here, South Uchi in the Red Lake District, it's about 80 kilometers to the east of Great Bear in the Lower Confederation Lake assemblage. We option this to Orinovo Resources, where we hold 15% equity ownership, 30% carried interest to PEA, and a 2% uncapped royalty on the project. So that gives you an idea of the types of deals we're structuring. Multiple years of systematic exploration identified a large-scale gold geochemical anomaly in the central part of the project. Again, similar to Renault, there was no previous gold occurrences in this area and no historical drilling. This is exactly what we're looking for, and why we continue to do this type of exploration, is to identify the signal of a potentially, a potential gold system that hasn't been discovered yet. So, like I said, we completed a maiden drill program there in the first quarter, 14,000 meters of drilling that Orinovo funded, and we'll be putting out complete assays on that in the next month or two. These projects elsewhere in northwestern Ontario in the Wabigoon and Quetico areas all had first pass regional geochemical surveys completed on them last year. I want to draw your attention to the Flora project in the top there. On the left-hand side is, again, that regional geochemical survey data with, you can see the gold assays there. So we've identified another large-scale, 7-kilometer-long coherent gold and till anomaly in an area with no previous historical drilling. On the right-hand side, this is what Renault looked like at the same scale. So you can see that in terms of a comparison. We'll be following up on the Flora target this year to get it to drill stage, and then likely be drill tested early next year. And then the Cow-Cache project, newly staked in the portfolio, 125,000 hectares of ground. We'll be completing the first pass till sampling up here this summer. The Ayuichi project, this is 230,000 hectares of ground up in the Opanaka sub-province in the James Bay region, sort of outside the box geologically, but there is evidence for gold systems in these high-grade metamorphic rocks, and we'll be completing a first-pass till sampling program there this year as well. And also staked this year was staked or acquired was the Atlantic project in New Brunswick, covering 150,000 hectares of Devonian volcanics, which are prospective, I think, for epithermal gold and potentially intrusion-related gold systems. Puma exploration has been having some success with Kinross just to the north of us. Really the belts that had not been heavily explored for gold and no real systematic work done. So again, we'll go in here and complete that first pass regional till sampling program and see what comes out of it. So I guess you can see, what our strategy is. We don't get married to any one project. Really the goal here is to just continue to generate these projects, find new targets, get them drill tested, do it in a capital efficient manner, and hopefully come up with other discoveries. Through this business model, we've managed to sustain our share structure quite well. Over 9 years of exploration, we still only have 77 million shares outstanding. We've got $25 million in the bank, so we're really well capitalized. And operating all this exploration does generate a revenue stream for us through management fees and other cash payments and such. So this really helps keep us going without having to dilute shareholders all the time, which is a really important point there. And lastly, in terms of share structure, this is often overlooked, but one of the most important aspects of investing is knowing who your shareholders are and what their investment timelines are. And luckily, we have a lot of long-term quality investors. Even here in Quebec, lots of the Quebec institutional funds are participating. Caisse de dépôt, Sidex, FDQ, NQ, all hold share positions. We have other institutions like Euro Pacific, Adrian Day, and some really well-known individual shareholders, John Tognetti, Chairman Emeritus of Haywood Securities, and Paul Stevens down in San Francisco, and Rick Rule, of course, is big champion for the project generator space and royalty companies. And then 2 strategic shareholders, Sumitomo Metal Mining owns 10.1% and Centerra Gold with 9.9%. So yeah, keep an eye out for us. We're going to continue doing what we're doing. There's always exciting news flow, and again, that royalty I think is what's really adding a lot of value right now to the company. So cheers. Thanks.